I am absolutely delighted that all of us are here in the health education campus of the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine and the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. It is absolutely delightful to see the energy here in the room and to know that in about 15 or so minutes, our medical school class graduating this year will know exactly where they're going to be. Maybe not their apartment or house yet, but they'll know exactly where they'll be living for the next few years. This is the first time that we've been able to bring the match day to the health education campus. I'm Stan Gerson, the Dean of the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine. I'll note that in a few weeks, we'll be celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the School of Medicine Wood building, which is where our medical school was situated for almost 45 to 50 years. So we've only got about 95 years left for this building to reach that milestone. Few things can be more exciting for the faculty of the school across all of its campuses than catapulting our students into their future. And we really join all of the medical schools and all of the medical students across the country on this incredible day in which we release the individual matching of our medical students. It's an incredible process, both for the medical students, for the school, for all the hospitals around the country, a ranking, interview, computer matchmaking process that works every year. We never quite understand how well it works. It's a huge milestone in our medical students as they really begin their journey as medical professionals and joining the incredible profession of the calling of the healing of mankind. And there will be incredible stories that our students will tell you, their families, and us, their colleagues and their educators, both about today and about their future to come. And many of us have reasons that we want to go to a particular location. I hope every one of you finds happiness in your selection. All of us as physicians went through the match. I remember I did with my spouse. At that point, we were just linked as seriously other, an ill-defined term that allowed us to get away with whatever, but we ended up at Penn and came here shortly thereafter. So I want to thank our students and the entire families represented here for the perseverance and resilience. Medical training is incredibly difficult and challenging, and having to go through 3 years of a pandemic is even more complex, and I'm glad that we're here unmasked today so that we can enjoy all of your futures. Our students learn to adapt, practice an environment that they'd never seen before, and they'll be more resilient for it. And I also just want to remind, as we disperse all of you across the country, remember your classmates. They'll be your colleagues for life, experts that you call on for trust, and they'll be the physicians that you'll turn to for the rest of your career. So no matter where you match, remember that starting at the end of June, you're going to make a difference in individuals, patients' lives, perhaps for the next 50 plus years. So remember all of us here. We're here to help. And I'm going to now turn it over to Vice Dean of Education, Dr. Leah Logio.
Good morning. I can feel the energy in the room. It's very exciting to be here with all of you. You guys are the class who started at the HEC, and you'll finish at the HEC as you wished. We're really so very proud of every single one of you. Everyone in this room is beaming with pride for what you've accomplished. So congratulations to all of our matching students. I do have one additional ask of you, which is that you will graduate with a medical degree, and the AAMC will send you a survey called the Graduate Questionnaire. Sorry, I have to. It's part of our accreditation process, as you know. And so it doesn't come without its rewards. Like all the other things we've asked you to do, it comes with rewards. So there are incentives for you to complete your graduate questionnaire. And we do ask you to be very honest and tell us what we did well, what we didn't do well. You guys had a very unique experience through the 4 years and 5 years of the programs because of COVID, and we really tried hard to do everything right, but we really want to learn from the experience that you had. So please, if you get a chance before June 1st, fill that survey out. And because we are giving incentives, and we've already given out one, I have the privilege of honoring the first incentive, which is a $100 Amazon gift card to Carrington Seals, if she's here. It's St. Patty's Day. You got lucky. Thank you. Congratulations. And now I'll turn the program over to our executive dean for the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine, Dr. Bud Isaacson.
Wow, is this awesome or what? You know, I couldn't sleep last night, and I'm not even matching, right? This is so exciting. This is one of the most exciting days of the year for us, all of us, every year. And I want you to know we take feedback. So we didn't originally plan to have Match Day in the HEC, but we heard from the students, and I have to say you made the right decision, and this is really awesome. So excited to be here. Who else is excited to be here? So we are so proud of you. I want to just, while we have everyone together, let's give our graduates a round of applause. And I want to take time to acknowledge some other very important people. We have people who are involved with career advising, our society deans, Christine Warren, our Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs. We have the physician advisors at the college program. We have so many faculty, Stacy Jolly, Paul Bryson, who help our students. Really, any faculty who is involved supporting our students who's here, let's give them a round of applause. And then how about the people who are here as family, friends, loved ones supporting our students? Let's give a round of applause to them too. You know, I was reflecting, this brings a little bit of the parenting emotions to me anyway. You know, you want what's best for your children. We consider this our professional family, all of the students. We want what's best for them. And it's sort of mixed emotions, right? It's so much excitement, joy, but it's hard to see our students leave. Most of you will leave. For those who stay, we're delighted that you'll be here. But many of you will leave, and we know you'll do great things. Actually, the world needs Case Western Reserve University graduates. You are so talented, and you're going to change the world. And for those of you who leave, you're going to plant seeds of the culture of Case wherever you go, and that is so, so important to us. So again, I want to congratulate everyone. We're so excited for you. In just a few minutes, you will hear where you're going to be, and we want to share that joy with you, and we can't wait for that to happen. So let me turn it over now to our first student speaker. I'm so excited that we have student speakers this year. Anthony Anazurike. I know Anthony very well. Come on up here, Anthony. Now, I bet you Anthony remembers this, you know? Yeah. So when Anthony was a first year, we were trying to find our way together to an event. You remember this? Celebrating the Key Scholarship, Key Bank Scholarship. And Anthony is one of the recipients. He's going into emergency medicine, and will be a better place for that wherever he goes. But we were trying to find each other. I heard Anthony's car broke down. I didn't really know Anthony that well, but we had met at orientation. But then I saw it on a mission. I had my Google Maps trying to find him. And I think you got a ride before I found you, but we ended up at the same event and had a good time. So no one better represents CCLCM than Anthony. So Anthony, thanks for being here.
All right, I think I got to adjust the microphones a little bit taller. Yeah, so greetings one and all, and congratulations to the 2023 matches. It's an honor to speak in front of you as a representative of the Cleveland Clinic, Lerner College of Medicine here at Case Western Reserve. Before I get started, on behalf of my classmates, I want to thank the family members and friends who are here today, as well as those who could not be here. You all have supported us from the very beginning, back when med school was still an aspiration. Yet, I'd be remiss if I failed to acknowledge others who have helped us along the way. To the advisors, mentors, attendings, residents, and everyone in between, we thank you. As the old African proverb goes, it takes a village to raise a child. In the same spirit, I would like to take a moment for this year's class to applaud our village, who have helped us come this far. So when trying to think of the words that would both encapsulate our collective journey while also inspiring us to push forward, the theme of change and adaptation kept coming to mind. We started off in the health education campus, or the HEC, during our first 2 years, back when in-person interviewing and cutting down screen time were all the rage. The HEC was brand new, but nobody knew where the bathrooms were. And also no one knew which wall to write on. But in time, we figured it out. Bathroom signs were put up, and many walls were painted over. We adapted and overcame. However, as many of you are well aware of, that was just the least of our challenges. As we started to feel the full weight of the pandemic, we had to adapt and figure out new ways to go to class and new ways to learn. Our time in medical school saw us transition from watching seminars online in our pajamas to clinical rotations in mask. Soon after, we had to figure out what specialty we wanted to do for the rest of our lives. And after auditioning for residency in various hospitals, today, we find out where at. Our particular journey through medical school has taught us that we must be ready for change. After all, it's actually the only constant in life. If you don't believe me, just ask any physician who has gone through the transition of paper charts to electronic charts and the continuous updates to those charts. And if that lesson still is going over our head, then let's just rehash a couple of events around the world since we started medical school. We experienced a pandemic, well stated. But at one point in this pandemic, finding toilet paper turned into a game of Where's Waldo? Zoom, zoom, zoom was no longer just a jingle for Mazda car commercials. It is now how we alternatively meet. Yet, we also heard cries for justice both in this country and others continue. We saw wildfires of unprecedented significance and more tropical storms. We saw wars being started and still being fought to this day. And as oil prices increased, so did shrinkflation. Yes, life is full of changes, but who's to say that we can't be that change? Some of you will make new discoveries, cure diseases, innovate, and improve procedures. Still, many of you will positively impact patients' lives. We will give them more years to spend with loved ones. You will improve the quality of their life. You will promote the dignity of them, even with just an encouraging, warm smile. To my classmates and future colleagues who will carry two of the most renowned letters behind their names, I am charging you today to pursue your mission. Pursue your calling. Be the change that your patients require, your community yearns for, and what the world dreams of. As soon-to-be alumni and newly minted doctors, let us make our village proud. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2023. I would now like to introduce my other colleague, Ishwar Sumadsun Darum.
It feels like orientation was just last week. Do you all remember orientation? I can only talk about the 2019 orientation, which was the first one in this building. I remember that it was freezing, and like my colleague Anthony mentioned, no one could find the bathrooms. Though in hindsight, being put into a freezing building with no sign of a bathroom was actually preparation for the wards. I remember one of our speakers, Dr. Judith Olson, proclaiming that we all had a bird that lived inside us, one that reflected our chronotype. And I remember that week ending at the Botanical Gardens and an epic photo collage contest, the winner of which is still a great mystery. A lot has happened since then. Lots of long nights in these classrooms spent scrawling biochemical pathways on these marker boards. Eventually, after the winter of 2020, it finally felt like we were becoming a community. Our class was settling into Cleveland. But then the pandemic happened. Us students, we were removed from the hospitals, removed from the labs, removed from the classrooms. There was a time when the most social contact I had with you all was at the VL gym every week, publicly spitting into a tube for mandatory COVID testing. But we made it. We made it through board exams, we made it through rotations, we made it through a very long interview season to arrive here at this point, to arrive at match day. I know I speak for the room when I say there's a lot of anxiety about what's in those envelopes. But I think everything will be okay. And I know that's cliche, but I have a reason to say that. As the previous speakers acknowledged, just look around this room at how many people came to support us. Most of you all did not understand my inside jokes. They're not going anywhere. Whether that slip of paper has your number 1 or your number 10, I know the people who came here to support us and the people who couldn't make it here to support us, they will be with us for residency and ensure our success. And in addition to that, our class, we now have each other. I know for a fact that the bonds forged by this class over the past several years will persist through residency and beyond because they persisted through a global pandemic. And I am personally so grateful that I get to take my first steps as a physician with you all, the most brilliant, hardworking, and kind-hearted people that you will ever meet. So tomorrow, on Saturday, March 18th, once the neurotransmitter surge from the match starts to wind down, and for some of us, the residual acetaldehyde in our livers clear out, it is St. Patty's Day, we'll realize that we're still the same us, surrounded by the same amazing people, and that is why I know everything will be okay. Thank you.
So now I have a problem because I'm really bad at telling jokes. And I've got about 1.5 minutes to keep us all occupied, which I will do somehow. So one of the items that we haven't seen is I'd just like to know, so we know how quickly folks will come up here to the front. I'd love to know where our graduating medical students are at this moment. So please raise your hand so we know where you are. Okay, a lot in the front, a lot in the back. I recognize that a few of you just might look at your cell phones for your email, but it's much more fun to come up here. That's the first thing. The second thing is we will be having a reception up on the 3rd floor. There are elevators, but there's plenty of walkways. So you can head up there after we celebrate down here. And again, I'm going to encourage as much hugging and engagement and celebration as we possibly can. So now I think I get to note that we're 30-ish seconds. When we get to 15, we're all going to count. Is that all right? You can start early if you want, but 15 is a good number. Having a son who worked at SpaceX, I understand the concept of a countdown. 10.